And today I actually wanted to make a little bit different video, and since I have a new microphone now, so definitely you can hear the change in the sound. So if my voice sounds way clearer, it's because I finally bought super expensive microphone. It costs around 300 euros. So definitely all of my videos are going to have way better sound, and I'm right now filming with my camera, so obviously the picture quality is way better. If you follow me on Instagram, then you are quite aware of the recent events what took place, and I'm extremely thankful for a lot of people who DM'd me and sent me condolences and just try to motivate me and wish me way better life. And I'm not going to talk about the events, and I'm just trying to talk about today, if you go through very traumatic events, how would I solve this, because I went through that all, and I'm not going to make any negative video today. I am not going to badmouth anyone, because I actually had a birthday 2 days ago, and thanks to this extremely traumatic experience to me, I've decided that I'm not ever going to badmouth anyone in internet anymore. I am just going to share my opinion with my very close people whom I can trust and who are not going to betray my trust anymore. And definitely I have to say that this experience extremely opened my eyes, and I have never gone through something so traumatic in my entire life, and trust me, I've had tons of them. So I definitely have to admit that I had to do a lot of self-development. I had to recheck the entire list of people I am getting close to, because I have a problem with getting attached to people. I have a problem with giving these people the happiness, and I give my happiness to these people, and if they run away, then they basically take my entire happiness and just leave. So I'm basically ended up without it, and it takes a pretty damn long time to get it back. And it's very easy to say by people who have not been through that, or they've been through that a lot, so eventually they learn their lesson. And definitely not everyone is having the same life, not everyone has the same life experiences. So definitely I don't want to hear any opinion by people who are there to be smart or know it all. Not everyone are lucky as you, who's probably had very easy, nice life, who has had a lot of supportive friends and stuff like that. Not everyone has a wonderful life like that. And definitely this experience taught me one thing, that I cannot trust people anymore. I have a couple of very good friends, and even though they may not fill my cup completely, because we have certain friends for certain purposes, I definitely have to wait a little longer until I find friends for different activities. And my best friends are not bad people. I love them to death, and they are extremely, extremely good people. But they also have their social life. A lot of them are in relationships and stuff like that, so they don't have constant time to be spontaneous with me and stuff like that. So for that, I definitely need a new group of friends, since the last group were basically just nice to me because they were forced to. And once they were not beneficial anymore, they literally just stopped talking to me, and I didn't exist to them. And that was, I think, one of the reasons what hurt me a lot, because I'm quite aware that I'm a really good person, and when I want to be someone's friend, I'm doing everything in my power to make them happy. I definitely do everything in my power to be loyal, and whenever someone needs me, I'm there for them 100%. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that. They only realize that years later, where when they are in dying need of help and they've surrounded themselves with people who are awesome and cool, but when you actually need a friend, they are not going to be there in a form that you would want them to be there. And even though it may be very hurtful for me that I am not surrounded by them anymore, because they were a lot of fun and they were so positive and stuff like that. They invited me everywhere and I was super, super grateful for that. And now I unfortunately have to just admit that it was an experience, and if they don't want to share that with me anymore because I'm not beneficial to them anymore, then I just have to move on. Because if someone doesn't want to be your friend, then what can you do? You cannot do anything about it. And it's so strange that I got 29 and it took me that long to understand that. One of my best friends have told me that information for years, that you shouldn't trust people so easily, that not everyone has the good intentions and a lot of people are just fun and blah blah blah, but when you need them, then they just kind of disappear, or they set their own needs ahead of yours. And they are saying things like, oh, I'm tired, I cannot help when I'm tired, and stuff like that. Even though you are not asking a lot of them, just be there, just talk to me, and just try to make me happy. Because when you are in this position, then I will do everything in my power to make you happy. And I know a lot of people are going to tell you that, are going to tell me that it's not another person's responsibility to make you happy. I know that, but if you have a friend and you want to have this long-term friendship with them, that's what you do. That's what you do when you care about other people. And for me, it's very shocking because I try to care a lot. And the thing is, I care about wrong people, and they just take this love and care out of me and leaving me with nothing. And it it literally just breaks me every time. And the strangest thing is that these people actually realized that years later that they could have been my friend, and that's unfortunately, if you don't appreciate it now, then you will never will. And I just have to now find a new group of foreigners to hang out, and I just need to appreciate people who are around me. And I just have to focus on self-development now on. I have to go to new place, and I just need to start making new memories, even though it is very, very hard for me. And I've been in this kind of zone for the last 5 days, that my appetite is basically gone. I haven't eaten properly for 5 days. For 4 days, I think I only ate 2 eggs, and I was constantly super sad, and it literally broke me, this entire experience. And there were certain people whose validation or care I would have wanted, and they didn't give me that, and it makes me very, very sad to this day. The fact that I was surrounded by a lot of other people whom I've not seen yet, since I talk to a lot of people from Tandem and who contact me through YouTube. I am extremely grateful for them that they wanted to be there, even though they do not have to be there. And sometimes people have no idea how much their presence, just pure presence, matters to someone. And when you get older, then you start to appreciate these kinds of experiences more often. And you start to notice how important friends are, or just people you are being surrounded with. And that's one of the things what has taken me years to understand. I attach myself to people who show me a little bit affection, little bit appreciation, little bit love, especially if they're able to make me laugh and make me happy. Then I attach myself to these people. And it's extremely toxic behavior what I need to let go of, and I need to understand that I matter more, and everything happens for a reason. Probably that was not the place for me, and in a way I hope that universe made it extra painful for me in order to teach me something. And I hope that this extreme pain, which I've never experienced in my entire life before, it prepares me for something worse, or even for something what I'm not allowed to do anymore, and basically just a very, very painful lesson. What I want to talk about more in this video is definitely how to handle when you experience extremely high mental shock. I don't talk about depression or anxiety, I talk about shock. Shock is something what people who go through extremely traumatic experience, whether it's just when someone broke up with you, or you were thrown out of your house, when you've been at the war, when you lost your job, whatever. These are extremely traumatic experiences depending on a person. Not everyone are emotionally like a rock statue and are able to just think with the logic and just move on and move like a bulldozer. Not everyone are like that. So everyone experience shocks in so different levels. And that experience was definitely emotional shock, because when I googled the symptoms, because I was not aware what I was feeling, and my brain was telling me one thing and my body was like a separate entity next to it. And I definitely would not even wish that experience to my worst enemy. It's so traumatic experience. And the fact that you literally need either melatonin or sleeping pills to literally force you to sleep is another crazy thing. And if you are going through extreme levels of shock, then definitely isolating yourself from everyone is not a good decision. And a lot of times, shock is something what actually requires a doctor's help, that you basically need to call yourself an ambulance if it reaches certain levels and you're not able to sleep and you are just going mentally crazy. And shock actually requires hospital care where they measure your heart rate, otherwise you literally may suffer a heart attack. And this experience is not okay. And I am again very grateful that my body is able to handle such things without going to hospital. And it's not the first time, but I've never had that in that extreme level. And I know there are some people who are going to tell me like, hey, it's not a big deal, whatever, you know. The thing is, it wasn't the situation itself, it was more how I was betrayed, and that's something what I take to another level. And friendships to me are extremely important things. When you happen to be a very loyal person, then betrayal is something what you're never ever going to forget. You need a lot of time to get over it. It affects you like your close one died. It's that harsh. And that's a thing with me. So definitely I think this whole experience was that harsh because of the betrayal, and how I was literally treated like I don't exist anymore. And as much as I wanted to be something relevant, whatever, it's very hard because you cannot choose your emotions. Your brain can understand everything, but your body refuses to. And if your body refuses to, it's trying to manipulate your brain into being one. And my brain understands everything, what I went through, what is the reason, that there's something better coming, and it was very necessary. Because if you've been through something at least once, the next time that thing comes again, you are going to use a shield and you are way stronger than you were before. And definitely the most important lesson is that you appreciate everything more. Unless you refuse to learn from it and you are going to blame everyone else, then definitely you're not taking responsibility and you are going through the same situation with the same patterns, the same way, until one day it's either going to affect you even worse or you learn. And definitely, I have to admit that my ego has been one of my biggest enemies in my life. I definitely always think I don't need to do that. Why should I do that? Why is not that other person doing that? And stuff like that. And I always forget the most important thing about it all, that we are here to learn. Every person should grow in a way what is going to affect their life positively. And I'm extremely grateful for my older brother, who is literally a life mentor to me. I think I wouldn't be alive without him, and I wouldn't be alive without my best friend, who was there entire time in those 5 days, and he still is here to support me. And the fact that he was ready to meet with me after that thing happened, literally 40 minutes later, and support me, is something what I'm never going to forget, and I'm going to be forever grateful that he entered my life 2 years ago, and he has changed me, and he has been there for me like no one other. And I think during these times when you're going through shock or depression, panic attacks, anxiety, whatever mental health problem you may have at this time, you need to surround yourself with people who are there for you, who are doing everything to make you happy, who are taking you everywhere. And when I think back a couple of years ago when I had my extremely traumatic relationship breakup, and at this time I had a friend, and unfortunately we are no longer friends because our lives took so different paths that it was almost impossible for us to be friends again. But I don't hate him. I wish nothing but the best to him, and to this day I still have this amazing memory of him, of being one of the most beautiful people inside out. And I am forever grateful for him for being there for me when I needed him. And I am still to this day so grateful that when I took a ship from Helsinki to Tallinn, and the ship ride is around 3 hours, he was on the phone entire time. Like, do you know how much the phone bill later was? It was extremely high, and he was working as a spa receptionist, so the salary is not that high. During these times you remember people who are there for you, and if you happen to be one of those people who thinks, oh yeah, whatever, I don't need that kind of people, yes you do. Because at the end of the day, you can have this major, so big mansion, but if you have no people in it, you have no memories there, you have no one to talk to, at the end of the day, it matters who you tell your life experiences too, and are they there to support you and love you. And I've been that kind of person my entire life, that I pushed people away. I didn't trust anyone. And I was constantly with this idea that every guy is an asshole and every girl is a two-faced backstabber and stuff like that. But the thing is, there's literally 7 billion people on earth. Trust me, there is someone for us. Even though if you guys may not live in the same country, the same town, city, there is someone out there, whether it comes from language exchange apps or whatever social media, there is someone for you who can support you. And hopefully one day you two can meet and actually share all of those memories face to face. And I definitely changed as a human being from that experience. And even though in deep down I still feel very disappointed and kind of sad, I still have to be grateful for these people for giving me such experience, because one day I am going to be grateful for them for being like that and teaching me something which I may not have learned from anywhere else. And we all want to be that kind of person who has revenge on everyone, and if I didn't get it, then they don't deserve it either, and stuff like that. It's not going to work. You just need to live your life by doing things what you love, what you enjoy, what are not a burden, what does not cause you stress. Like right now, I'm filming this video, and I know this editing process is going to take forever and it's going to annoy me, but definitely that's something what I kind of enjoy. I want to connect with people. I want to know different cultures. I want to know why people are the way they are. So hopefully I can do my podcasting with foreigners living over here, and I'm going to crack their head open and try to find out who they are. And maybe they are able to teach me something new. And I want to get out of this TV screen what I've been taught to see. If you know there's a TV screen and you only know and accept whatever is being shown to you in that little box. But actually life is not like that, because we all come from so different cultures, languages, religions, whatever is shaping us. And if we don't know how each other is functioning, how can we share our experiences and how can we teach each other stuff like that? And it definitely took me a long time to understand that one person is not the representation of the entire country. So definitely every person who comes into our lives is a lesson, or they're there to stay. And it's our decision, do we want them to stay, or are they supposed to just be in the past and we are supposed to learn from it? The sad part of this all is just it's very hard to let go of people who make you laugh. Since life for the past 2 years and now the third is reaching, the life has been very traumatic, very ugly, very horrible, and definitely stressful, very expensive, and definitely it has shaped a lot of people into another person in order to adapt to these times. And during these times, I've started to value people who make me laugh, and it doesn't happen that often. So definitely I can say that I am extremely grateful that I went through that shock, even though my own head was constantly telling me that I'm not going to get through this, and this is going to be my last year on this earth, and I'm not meant to live that life in this body. I went through it somehow, and I have to admit that emotions along with hormones are the worst enemy of this earth. I think there's no worst enemy than our emotions. And the thing is, we cannot control them. Our emotions are most of the times controlled by outer environment. What are we surrounded by? And definitely, I think emotions are one of those things what we have to shape. We have to surround ourselves with an environment which is not triggering our negative sides of emotions. And it's very, very hard if you don't have a lot of money, or if you're constantly surrounded by toxic people and you have no possibility, or it just takes a long time to get away from there. And I know this video is literally 30 minutes long. I just wanted to make that because some of the people told me that, hey, I think you should definitely share that experience. Maybe someone will learn from it. Maybe it changes someone's life. What habits did I started to do from this experience? It's definitely, there are certain things what I'm so scared to do, but I still have to, because life doesn't stop because of me, it moves on. Um, Recently, I watched a couple of YouTube videos which changed my life entirely, the way I think about things. One of those YouTubers is actually Joe Franco, and I've been following her for quite a while. And she has this program called Writing a Journal. And I started doing that yesterday, and today I need to write another journal. And a year from today, I am going to make a YouTube video about it if I am still alive. And I'm going to read that journal to you, which is so crazy. And I am going to compare that post from yesterday to a year later, and how much have I changed. And I think that's one of those things what excites me about life, that you don't have to compete with anyone but yourself. And definitely, this is one of those things what I thought I would never ever do, like writing a journal. Like, what is that? I am not a writer. I don't know how to express my feelings. I am constantly surrounding myself with people who are able to express my feelings to others, because I don't know who I am. And at the same time, I know exactly who I am, and it's so strange. And another thing which I want to change this year, and I'm having very hard time with that, is reading books. And I know a lot of people have very hard time concentrating, especially me, because nights for me are the worst. I am having constant flashbacks of things, what could have changed and stuff like that. I definitely want to get more knowledge from books from now on, and I definitely want to make more memories in the shape of journals or making more pictures. I want to make more videos. I have so many dreams. My camera literally stopped filming in the middle of the sentence. Anyways, I think my camera just realized that I'm talking too much and I need to sum the whole video up. What I want to say is that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, even though you may not see that right now. There's always a time to take time off. If you are going through something very traumatic, go back to the comfort zone. Heal. Like, healing is so important, what you have to do. And you have to go back to the music, what makes you happy. Get out of the house for a while. Go to gym, do something. Don't sit at home. It's the worst thing to isolate yourself from the entire world. Talk to people. Tell someone, hey, let's go out. Let's do nothing. Just let's go out. And you just have to have this hope. And I wish I had filmed a video a day after my literal emotional shock. And I thought maybe this video would be too depressing, and do I want to share myself to wider public? And I know my videos are getting more views, and I'm not scared of what other people think of me. I don't care, because they've never walked in my shoes. They don't know what I've been through. But the thing is, I just don't want to make people realize that life is that depressing. Life is very hard. Like, I think only people whose life is easy are the rich people, because you can buy anything with money. You can buy experiences, friends. You can make someone happy with your money. Like, money is amazing tool to create happiness. But there are certain things what you cannot buy with money, which is love and loyalty, respect, and stuff like that. You cannot even buy knowledge, because if you refuse to acquire it, how can the knowledge can be bought? You can go to university and still be ignorant and stupid. It doesn't make you smarter. Knowledge comes from emotions, what you go through while you're living it. Emotions are the things what make you either learn or not. To sum this whole video up, my point is, choose your friends very, very wisely. Don't isolate yourself. Think about this one sentence over and over again. Everything happens for a reason. Have you had some situation from the past and you wanted that, whether it was an object, the situation, the person, you wanted it so so bad and you didn't get it, and you were like, why me, why didn't I get it? And years later, even if months or weeks later, you were like, oh my god, thank god I didn't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything is there for a reason. People take off their beautiful masks all the time, but our brains are just stupid that they refuse to see the red flags. Someone's face could be freaking red, and I'm still like, no, this person is good. They can treat me horribly, and I can still be like, no, they're the best person on earth. So that's the thing. We have to start valuing ourselves. If someone doesn't appreciate you, even on the minimum, can you see my English is disappearing? Basically, there are minimum things what humans are supposed to do in order to be a good person. And if you have to beg for it, you have to run after them begging for it, or you have to cause a problem over it, even though that's like a basic thing what you're supposed to do, this person, whatever, let them be. And I know people can be extremely addictive sometimes, and I have a problem with that. So my tip to you is, try to figure it out. My tip to you is, if you don't have any place to pour your emotion, your thoughts in, start writing a journal. Make a goals list. I think people don't have a list of things, of people, of experiences, what they want. Make a list of 50 things what you want in life, and then have a time like due date at the end of it, whether you want that thing in 1 year, in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Have the list. Otherwise, you're running around like a headless chicken, and you have no idea what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to be. And this list is definitely going to make this tunnel effect, that you only have this one goal, and whatever the noise is around it, it's great if they run with you. You are like basically in the class tunnel and people are outside of it. And if someone decides to run with you and like knock on the door and motivate you and be like, yeah, you can do it, just run, I'm like running with you, then it's great. And if there are people on the other side of the class trying to boost you up for a second, and you stop running and you just stay on the place, and then they decide to leave one day, then you can see how much you still have to go. Like, you have so much to do still. So definitely, I think we have to surround ourselves with people who are going to be motivating you to keep going in life. We need to celebrate each other's winnings. And definitely, we have to be aware of the jokes they're doing. And definitely, if people are calling you names even when they were drunk or they didn't mean it, they actually did. And I think to this day that people who are drunk and what information they are spreading during that time is the truth. So listen wisely. And definitely one of the things what I learned also is that people who you drink with are not actually your friends. You can have a couple of drinks, but if you need to be wasted with them in order to have fun, these people are just miserable. They are just drinking for something. And if you're able to hang out with them while they're sober and still have loads of fun, these are your people. Choose your friends based on a life you want. Do you want to waste your life drinking all the time, or do you want to travel, or do you want to learn some things? And these are the things what made me think a lot. Like, I think these people were supposed to be away from me, in a way. Anyways, thank you for watching this whole long video. And I know it was so long, but next time, I think it's in a couple of days, I'm going to film another video about Estonia, because it seems like not everyone are talking about Estonia. And I tried to come up with something interesting, and at least my sound is way better now, because I had to rewatch some of my older videos and I was shocked how bad the sound was. How is anyone even able to listen to my videos? It's horrible. And when you have a clear, sharp voice, you just want to listen more. It's so great. Anyways, I am so grateful for every single one of you who watches my videos. I am, I think, healing very slowly right now, and I am just trying to take some time off for, I think, a week or something. I try to clean my whole room. I'm trying to get rid of some of the stuff which are more like a negative energy to me. And I try to reorganize my life. I need to upgrade my list, what I want in life. I need to read more books to properly heal and cure my soul. My soul is so broken right now, and I need to fix that, because if there's going to be something traumatic in near future again, I won't be able to handle that without ending up in the hospital. Thank you for watching today's video, and let's talk again next time.